الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدي الكرام، طلبة وطالبات دبلوم التعليم العام، أسعد الله أوقاتكم بكل خير. أهلا بكم معنا حلقة جديدة من برنامج درس على الهواء، حلقة نخصصها لمادة اللغة الإنجليزية. الحلقة الثانية لهذه المادة، ولكن حلقة اليوم ستكون مخصصة بالكامل للغة الإنجليزية الأساسية، اللي طبعا راح تكون هي محور امتحان يوم الغد إن شاء الله. اليوم امتحان الجغرافيا كثير من الارتياح من قبل مجموعة من الطلبة والطالبات، وإن لم يكن معظمهم أيضا ارتياح من مستوى الامتحان وأيضا وضوح الامتحان، والجميع يعني تحدث على أنه في متناول أيدي الجميع، خاصة تعليم الكبار. اليوم أنا أيضا كنت في أحد المراكز، أيضا هناك ارتياح من قبل دارسين بتعليم الكبار من امتحان مادة الجغرافيا. إن شاء الله يوم الغد مجموعة كبيرة من الطلبة والطالبات راح ينهوا امتحانات نهاية الفصل الدراسي الأول اللي هو مع امتحان اللغة الإنجليزية. مجموعة أخرى مكملين يعني خلال عطلة نهاية الأسبوع يستمتعوا بمذاكرة الكيمياء اللي راح يختموا فيها إن شاء الله امتحاناتهم يوم الأحد بالتأكيد. فاصل، نعود ونبدأ حلقة اليوم باللغة الإنجليزية. تحية لكم مشاهدي الكرام، طلبة وطالبات دبلوم التعليم العام، كل من يتابعنا عبر قناة عمان مباشر تلفزيون سلطنة عمان. نبدأ حلقة اللغة الإنجليزية. الترحيب بضيفي وضيفكم هنا بالاستوديو الأستاذ سعيد بن محمد العمري، معلم لغة إنجليزية. أستاذ سعيد، مساء الخير وأهلا بك معنا.
مساء النور أستاذ خلفان، ونتشرف أن نكون معاكم في حلقة اللغة الإنجليزية لطلبة الصف الثاني عشر، ونتمنى لهم بإذن الله تعالى امتحان موفق وسهل
إن شاء الله. وإحنا أيضا سعيدين أنك تكون موجود معنا للحلقة الثانية في هذا الفصل. يلا نعطيك مساحة تتكلم لغة عربية كذا مال دقيقتين أنا وأنت نسولف شوي، وبعد كذا نقلب مباشرة. أعتقد أنه باكر الامتحان. احنا ركزنا في الحلقة الأولى على الورقة الامتحانية، استعرضنا الورقة الامتحانية وأخذنا أيضا بعض الأسئلة. اليوم راح نترك المجال للطلبة أنهم لو حابين يسألوا أي شيء في الورقة الامتحانية ممكن يسألوا.
نعم، نتمنى من أخواننا وأخواتنا الطالبات أنهم يركزوا على أسئلتهم في مادة اللغة الإنجليزية في مختلف الأقسام اللي هي تخص القواعد والرايتنج إلى آخره، لكن نفضل اليوم أستاذ خلفان ما تتكرر الأسئلة، مثلا شو الكلمات اللي بتكون في الاختبار وشو من القواعد. احنا طبيعي جدا ان نشرح جميع القواعد جميع الكلمات، نكون متهيئين تهيئة كاملة للاختبار اللي بيكون بإذن الله تعالى يوم غد
بإذن الله. إذا احنا نسعد بتلقي أسئلتكم استفساراتكم سواء عبر الاتصال المباشر بنا على 2495 4611 2495 4611 أو أيضا من خلال حساباتنا على الفيسبوك صفحة البرنامج، وحسابنا أيضا على التويتر. كنوع فقط من استقراء يعني لكم او نسبه عدد الطلبه اللي راح يخلصوا باكر. ايضا حبينا شويه تكونوا فاعلين معنا، مش فقط تحطوا اسئلتكم على تويتر. عملنا نوع من الاستبيان للطلبه اللي راح يخلصوا الخميس او الاحد، فقط تضغطوا اذا الخميس او الاحد. راح نشوف لاخر البرنامج كم من نسبه ما بين اللي بيخلصوا يوم الخميس وما بين اللي راح يخلصوا يوم الاحد. لحد الان عدد المصوتين 160 او 260 عفوا. نسبة 70% راح يخلصوا يوم الأحد و30% راح يخلصوا يوم الخميس. راح نشوف هذه النسبة أيضا قبل لا نختم الحلقة إن شاء الله. ونبدأ الآن في الأسئلة الخاصة بحلقة اللغة الإنجليزية، ونبدأ بالتويتر. نشوف أيضا بعض الأسئلة، ومثل ما ذكرنا أنه الأسئلة تكتب باللغة الإنجليزية لأنه مباشرة عند الأستاذ سعيد. نشوف أول سؤال. Should we write a meaning from the story in the end? If you so, how do we write it?
Yes. First of all, we have already sent our greetings in Arabic, and I would like to express my greetings in English. Good day to all extinguished students around Oman, especially grade 12 students, and we are really happy to serve you here at Oman TV with the nice gentleman, Mr. Khalfan Al-Asmi, and we are also happy to answer all your questions. So regarding the Twitter questions of the story at the end of the story, students should write an advice or a suggestions or some kind of things to solve the problem that you have discussed within your story. So for example, at the end of the story, you can write all in all and put your advice. If you have already described a problem happened within the story, so try to put your advice and your suggestions at the end of the story. So markers and those teachers who will mark your exam paper would like to see that you have already understood the problem, you discuss the problem, and also you give your advice solution at the end of the story.
Thank you, Mr. Saeed. Okay, another question. Hello, Mr. Explain the rule on page 14 in workbook from Dina Al-Rawahi. Page 14.
Is it course book? Because 14 course book is across culture self-study.
Workbook.
Workbook, okay.
Yeah.
It's the same rule. Yes. The past simple and past simple passive. So this is the rule that also it has been mentioned in course book page 5. So here we need to differentiate between the past simple and past simple passive. So students should know that whatever tense we have its passive. So for example, we have present simple and we have present simple passive. We have past simple and we have past simple passive. So we have active form and passive form. Just to explain that one, let's go to the screen directly. We will explain present simple and present simple passive. So present simple, present simple. Present simple is subject plus verb plus object. So subject, verb, and object, this is the present simple when we know who did the action or who is doing the action, for example. Do you understand? So we know the subject. This is present simple. And past simple is subject plus verb plus object. Just focus with me here. In a present simple, it goes with the verb 1. We know that there are 3 forms of the verb: present, past, and past participle. So present simple takes the verb, which is verb 1. But past simple take the verb 2. For example, if we have verb 1 like write, verb 2 will be wrote. So we need to understand these kind of things. So past simple, subject, verb 2 plus object. If we would like to change it to past simple passive, so in past simple passive, we would like to use them when you don't want to know who did the action, for example. This is past simple. So the focus will be in the action more than the one who did the action. So past simple passive will be object plus was or were plus verb form, and here the verb will be past participle, which is verb 3, plus by plus the subject. Yeah. This is the thing that we need to put in our mind in past simple passive and past simple. If we can give an example here about past simple and past simple passive, an easy example we can give, sorry. Yeah, we can give an example. Past simple, Salim.
Go to the pen, okay.
Yeah, Salim ate the cake. So who ate the cake? Salim ate the cake. This is past simple. But past simple passive, the cake was. Why was? Because cake is singular. If it's plural, we can use were. So the cake was eaten by Salim. This is an easy example we can provide here. So we need to focus in past simple passive. We need to use the past participle. So verb 1, verb 2, verb 3. Verb 2 is the past simple. Verb 3 will be going for the passive form. I hope that I answered your question.
Thank you. We'll go to another question. Also by Twitter, I want to know how many listening times, because the teacher told us that that is only 2 times.
Yes. In listening questions, so students will hear the listening question 3 times. The first time you hear, the second time you write your answer, and the third time you check your answers. And also we have already provided some advices for students to get their answers or to catch the answer much easier. So while you are listening and before the listening, you need to read the questions, underline the keywords, and be prepared for the teacher to come and open, for example, and play the CD. So try to hear and try to catch the most key words that you have already noticed them within the questions. So it will make it easier to you to catch the answers instead of wasting your time listening everything. So the first time you listen, the second time you write your answer, and the third time you check your answers as well.
Thank you. الآن راح ناخذ مجموعة من المكالمات وبعد كذا إن شاء الله راح نرجع أيضا للتويتر وللفيسبوك. نذكر الأسئلة باللغة الإنجليزية، الحوار مع أستاذ سعيد أيضا باللغة الإنجليزية. عندنا حازم. حازم مساء الخير.
مساء النور أستاذي.
كيفك يا حازم؟
الحمد لله.
مو الأخبار؟
الحمد لله تمام.
امتحنت جغرافيا اليوم ولا؟
لا والله ما امتحن.
عندك كيمياء إن شاء الله ها؟
ايوه.
يلا بالتوفيق ان شاء الله. طبعا استاذ سعيد ومباشره للاسئله ايضا. تفضل يا حازم.
Good afternoon, Mr. Said.
Good afternoon, Hazem, and how are you?
I am fine. Nice to hear you.
Good, Hazem. Hazem, before we start getting your questions, would you tell us what did you do so far to study English?
I usually listen or watch some video on YouTube in English language.
Good.
And I usually skim some books also in English.
Did you practice some English exams of previous years?
Yes.
Yeah, how did you find them, easy or difficult?
Some difficult, not
good.
That much.
Yeah, tell us your question, Hazem.
My question is about true or false questions. What's the best strategy to solve this type of questions?
Yeah, true, false questions in listening, reading, or which one do you mean?
Reading.
Reading, good.
Reading.
This is Hazem, one of the new versions that being updated within 3 years from the Ministry of Education, and it's really nice questions to be here as well. So you will have seven questions. So if we go directly to the exam, we can show some kind of examples here of reading. Yes. Yeah, this is, for example, true false questions. You will have them in your final exam. So students, what do they have to do first? You have to read the statement, Hazem, first. After reading the statement, try to underline the keywords within the statement. After reading the statement, go back and read the small passage. Try to match between the keywords that you have underlined within the passage that you have read. So it will make it easier to you to get the answer, whether is it true or false. We don't have a magic rule here to tell you that this is true or false unless you read the statement, underline the keywords within the statement, read also the short passage there, and then try to match and elicit whether it's a true or false. Okay, Hazem?
Thank you very much.
Any questions? Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much, Hazem. I appreciate it.
شكرا لك حازم، موفق إن شاء الله في امتحان الغد وأيضا امتحان يوم الأحد. شكرا لك يا حازم. ناخذ اتصال آخر، عندنا إلياس. إلياس السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
كيفك يا إلياس؟
الحمد لله طيب. I am fine.
من وين تخبرنا؟ لا خليك بالعربي يعني بعد كذا تروح على الأستاذ سعيد.
من سناو.
من سناو، نعم. كيف جاهز إن شاء الله لباكر؟
إن شاء الله.
تمام، أستاذ سعيد معك، تفضل يا إلياس.
السلام عليكم دكتور سعيد.
عليكم السلام, Ilyas, and how are you?
I am fine. What about you, teacher?
Good so far. It seems that you are very excited starting English with Mr. Khilfan. Tell me about Sunau. How is the weather there?
The weather good. Today is good.
Yeah, getting cold these days?
No. Yesterday is cold, but now normal, not
normal weather.
very cold.
Okay, good. What are you doing so far for English exam, which is going to be tomorrow?
What?
Yeah, what you have prepared so far? Did you study for English exam?
Yes.
How did you study? Tell us.
I study by read solve some final exam.
Final exams. Good.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, tell us your question, Ilyas.
My question in course book.
Yeah.
53.
Page
53.
53. Course book or workbook?
Course book.
Course book, page 53.
Grammar recall.
Okay, what's wrong with it?
Can you explain it for us?
Yeah, about present perfect and present perfect continuous, yes?
Yes.
Ilyas, before explaining here, do you know the meaning of present perfect?
Present perfect, yes.
Yeah, what is it?
In Arabic?
No, in English.
In English, I don't know in English.
Huh?
I don't know it in English.
Try. Something happened where? The present perfect. Something happened now or in the past?
Present perfect now.
How? How now? Look, Ilyas, just to tell you that present perfect is something happened in the past and has a result right now. This is present perfect, okay?
Okay.
Present perfect continuous, the same thing. Something happened in the past, but also it is continued, okay? Until now.
Okay.
Okay, just to tell you an example, let us have the structure. Let us have the structure first. Present perfect is what? Is subject plus has for singular plus have for plural plus verb 3, which is the past participle, plus object. Okay?
Okay.
Like, for example, I have studied in the
English.
UK. Okay?
Okay.
So, for example, what happened? I have studied in the UK. You saw someone that his English is excellent, and you ask him, where did you study? He said, I have studied in the UK. So he studied in the past, but the result that his language is excellent. Okay?
Okay.
This is present perfect. But present perfect continuous is subject plus has for singular, have for plural, plus been plus verb ing plus object. Look what happened here. Has and have needs the verb in past part because be, we know that be is the present, the past tense of be is was and were, and then the third form is been. Then we have the verb ing according to be. So subject has and have plus been plus verb ing plus object. We know that something happened in the past and also the verb or the action is still continuing. If we would like to change it, I have studied in the UK. Try to change it now to present perfect continuous, Ilyas.
Present perfect continuous.
Yes, I have studied in the UK. Change it to present perfect continuous.
I have been.
Yes, I
have been.
I have been. Yes,
UK.
studying.
Studying in the UK.
In the
UK.
In the UK. So, do you think that he's still studying in UK or finished?
Still.
No, he is still. Thank you very much.
Finished,
So
finished.
this is the only difference between present perfect and present perfect continuous. Present perfect has a result right now, but present perfect continuous happened in the past, but is still continuing and affecting sometimes the experience. Also, you can have a look at the usage of present perfect within the book, but we have explained it in a good way and easy way to you, Ilyas. Any other questions, Ilyas?
No, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
شكرا لك يا إلياس، موفق إن شاء الله. شكرا. ناخذ سؤال من تويتر قبل لا نروح فاصل، هو استفسار. Good evening all. I am here to ask about vocabulary words. Is it from the book or general?
Yes. It's always been asking questions about vocabularies. Vocabularies, as we said, we have vocabularies within the course book and workbook, and also we need to focus that we should have background knowledge of vocabularies. So we can't assume that the only vocabularies from the course book and from the glossary. You need to study very careful the course book and workbook. Try to spell the words, because in vocabulary questions, if you misspell one of the letters, you will get 0 and the whole word is wrong. So we can advise you guys, so try to study vocabularies by spell them well, write them many times, and try to know their meanings, whether in English and also in your own language. So even if English, because the vocabulary questions will give you the definition first in English and will ask you to complete the example by the missing letters of the vocabulary. So we can't assume that the vocabularies will be out of the book. No, but we need to study course book and workbook very careful, and also the books, both of them, workbook and course book, are rich of vocabulary. So we are talking about from 100 to 150 words, and sometimes are more.
Also, here in the same topic, vocabulary words come from unit vocabulary only or all units?
Yeah, Mr. Khalfan, we have already answered this one, and as we said, it doesn't come from theme 1 and they will skip theme 3 and 4 and 5. No, they will try to cover all the themes and all the units.
إذا احنا راح ناخذ استفساراتكم إن شاء الله على تويتر، على الفيسبوك، أيضا اتصالاتكم بعد ما نرجع بعد الفاصل ونكمل حلقة اليوم من برنامج درس على الهواء المخصصة لمادة اللغة الإنجليزية. تحية لكم مشاهدي الكرام، طلبة وطالبات دبلوم التعليم العام أينما كنتم تتابعون برنامج درس على الهواء عبر قناة عمان مباشر تلفزيون سلطنة عمان. والتحية أيضا لضيفي هنا بالاستوديو الأستاذ سعيد بن محمد العمري معلم لغة إنجليزية. تحية متجددة لك أستاذ سعيد، أهلا بك.
تحية لك أستاذ خلفان ونتشرف إن شاء الله تعالى.
وأيضا نسعد بتلقي أسئلتكم واستفساراتكم سواء عبر الاتصال على 24954611 أو أيضا صفحتنا على الفيسبوك وكذلك حسابنا على تويتر. وناخذ اتصال. عندنا ريم. مساء الخير.
مساء النور.
شو أخبارك يا ريم؟
الحمد لله بخير.
من وين؟
من السويق.
من السويق. تفضل يا ريم، أستاذ سعيد معك. تمام.
Hello, Ustad.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, how are you too?
Good, good. Did you prepare for English exam tomorrow?
Yes.
How did you prepare?
I spell some words and practice writing, like that.
Yeah, good, good. What is your question?
My question is asked, but I have a simple question. What's the difference between variety, varied, and various?
What is it again?
What's the difference between this word, variety, or varied, or various?
Variety.
Or varied.
And the second one?
What?
The second one?
Varied.
Yeah, could give me the spelling.
various.
Spelling, please, Reem.
What?
Spelling of the second one. Yeah.
V.
Yeah.
A. R. I. E.
Yeah.
D.
Varied.
Y.
Yes. Good. And the third one?
V.
Yeah.
A. R. I. E. D.
Yeah.
The third one, V.
Yeah.
A. R. I. O. U. S.
Okay. Look, we are talking about words form here, Reem. We are talking about nouns and adjectives, okay?
Yes.
So if we are talking about various, sometimes it calls about adjectives. And also varied also could be continued as adjective, okay?
Yes.
But the different forms depends on when do we use them. For example, various books, it means different books, okay? We are describing that the books are different, okay?
Okay.
But we would like to describe they are varied, so they are different. Do you understand?
Yes, teacher.
So it depends on where we use them. Okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, thanks.
Thank you very much.
شكرا لك يا ريم، شكرا وموفقة إن شاء الله باكر. أنت وكل الطلاب إن شاء الله اللي راح يمتحنوا امتحان اللغة الإنجليزية. عندنا فاطمة. السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
كيف حالك يا فاطمة؟
الحمد لله بخير.
من وين تكلمينا فاطمة؟
من ولاية لواء.
من لواء. امتحنت جغرافيا اليوم ولا؟
أيوة امتحنا الحمد لله.
سهل كان ها؟
مرة وايد.
يلا الحمد لله الحمد لله. إن شاء الله بعد باكر امتحان الإنجليزي يكون سهل
إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله بإذن الله. فاطمة الآن معك أستاذ سعيد وأيضا حوار وأسئلتك أيضا راح يستمع لها إن شاء الله. تفضلي.
أيوة طيب.
Yes, hello.
Hello teacher.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
Good, good so far. So before getting your question, would you tell us about English lessons that you got so far within the school? Was it easy or difficult?
Actually, it was very easy. I answered it very well.
Good. Are you prepared for tomorrow?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, tell me your question.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. What's your question?
Actually, in page 53.
53 course book or workbook?
Course book.
Yes. Yeah, what was it about it? It's a grammar.
Explain the rule. Yes,
Yeah, the rule about present perfect and present perfect continuous. Yes.
When do we use the phrase has and have?
Again?
When do we use the phrase has and have?
Has and have. Yes.
what is the difference between them?
Yes. So look, present perfect and present perfect continuous, we have already explained the rule of present perfect and present perfect continuous and when do we use them.
Yes, I see it.
Your
But can you
question is
give me more example?
about has and have, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, we can also conclude. We use has with singular forms. So for example, if we have singular noun, we use has. If we have singular pronoun like he, she, and it, we use has. But we use have with plural nouns and plural pronouns like they, you, we, you, and I. This is for have, and that's for has.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. That's enough.
Any other questions?
No, thanks. Just
Thank you very much.
شكرا
Thank
لك
you.
فاطمة، شكرا، موفقة إن شاء الله. ناخذ سؤال أيضا عبر تويتر. What is the difference between the sentences to not eat and not to eat? And here example, my mother told me dash so fast. Are there any difference between to not eat, not to eat?
Yeah. What is the example she gave?
My mother told me dash so fast.
Yeah, and the second one, not
to eat.
So it's different forms that we can use them. So my mother told me to not eat. Also, we can use my mother told me not to eat. So different forms of the sentences that it's able for students to use. Yes.
Here also another one, another question. Hi, does it affect if I write introduction in the story talking about the importance of stories and so on?
Yeah, for the story, for example, we will advise some students, and we will advise, yes, grade 12 students especially, that they are going to have narrative writing tomorrow. So look, what do we have tomorrow? We have box of words. The first thing, box of words. So it will be box of words and 6 pictures. So the first thing students should match between the words and the pictures. This is the first thing that they need to know. So they need to read the words in the box, understand them, get their meanings, and then try to match between the words and the appropriate pictures. So we can also, if we would like to introduce your narrative story, we can advise students, and also we can suggest, and you can do your own part as well. We can write, for example, the life is full of stories and actions. Okay, this is we can introduce our writing. So what I will write about one of these stories. Okay, this is, we can suggest that this might be an introduction. Then start writing your story. So one day or once upon a time, and try to write your story. So start with picture number 1, describe it here, then start going to picture number 2 by using linking words like later or next or after that or whatever. Then try to describe picture number 3, then picture number 4, then 5, then number 6. So we are describing what is the pictures. And try to remember that we are using past tense here. This is very important. So we are using past tense. And at the end of the story, try to write all in all, or you can write to sum up, last, or whatever expression that you have to conclude. Write your advice. Write your advice, suggestions for the problem solution or whatever to end your story with. So this is the whole thing that we need to focus while we are writing narrative story. We start with introduction. We can say 1 or 2 sentences, start describing the pictures and writing your story using past tense, and then try to conclude your story by giving an advice or one of the suggestions that could solve the problems. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Saeed. ناخذ اتصال. عندنا دلال. دلال مساء الخير.
مساء النور.
كيفك يا دلال؟
الحمد لله طيبة.
من وين تكلمينا؟
من ولاية إزكي.
من إزكي. امتحنت جغرافيا اليوم ولا؟
أيوة امتحنت.
جميل كان الامتحان.
أيوة الحمد لله.
وبالتوفيق إن شاء الله في آخر امتحان بالنسبة لك باكر صح؟
أيوة.
بالتوفيق إن شاء الله. تفضل الآن أسئلتك مع الأستاذ سعيد.
Yes, hello.
Dalal.
Hello, Mr.
Hello, Dalal. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good, good. So what is your question, Dalal?
My question about the final exam paper in listening. Can we write the synonyms of the answer when we answer? Can we write synonyms?
Listening, do you mean the second listening question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here I have an example.
Yeah.
They use, or the question here, what they use to kill the animals.
Yes.
The answer is weapons. Can we write guns maybe?
Look, in final exam marking criteria, we as teachers have been asked yes to accept such synonyms. This is one. The second thing, it's been acceptable if we have, for example, the student wrote, for example, the word, but he or she misspelled the word. For example, you wrote weapon, but you missed to write E or O or whatever, so we can say that this is correct. Just to let you know, why do you need to write the synonym while you hear the word weapon? For what purpose?
Maybe for I don't know the correct spelling.
Yeah,
but I know another spelling for another word.
Yeah, but as we said that also in listening questions, spelling won't affect your marks. If you misspell it 1 or 2 or 3 letters, it won't affect your marks. But we don't have to generalize it. But we need to be careful. When we write weapon, we spell it as well. For example, some students will write it W-A, and some will write it W-E. So misspelling sometimes might not affect your marks, okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir. I have here a question. When we explain from something, when we want to, or the question had hold explanation mark. Okay, we explain by that.
Yeah.
The word that. Can we use how?
Are you talking about reported speech and direct speech?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's here from at grammar.
Yeah. Look, exclamation mark sometimes we use it if we are surprised of something. Okay? Yes. So yes. We can't generalize it. We have to use how at first. But exclamation mark, it means something surprised me.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary to be with how. For example, look, I can give you an example. You got, for example, 100 out of 100 in English. So your friend will say, how? Then exclamation. This means she is surprised of the marks that you got, okay?
Okay.
This is one of the examples. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
شكرا لك يا دلال. شكرا لك يا دلال. موفقة إن شاء الله. ناخذ أيضا سؤال عبر تويتر. Hi, sometimes in the exam we know the word in the vocabulary, but we don't know the correct spelling. Is there any method or something that can help us in that?
Yeah, in vocabularies.
Yeah.
In vocabularies.
In the spelling.
Unfortunately, especially we have already explained to your friend here that in listening, yes, misspelling doesn't affect your marks sometimes. If it's not the whole word's wrong. But in vocabulary, unfortunately, you need to spell the word correctly. So if you miss one letter, the whole word is wrong. So what do you have to do here? Before final exam questions, try to write these words many times. 10, 20 times till you write it properly. So this will help you as well. So you need to be prepared for vocabulary questions. Yes, it's 5 to 10 vocabularies within final exam, but we need to be also ready for these kind of vocabularies. So try to write them at home, spell them at home, know their meanings. So one of the things that you need, for example, for the word accommodation, try to write it many times. Or try to make it as syllabus. Try to cut the word in 3 or 4 letters, so 3, 4, 4, and try to write it 10 or 20 times till you master it. This is one of the advice that I can give you. Yeah.
شكرا أستاذ سعيد. ناخذ تغريدة وبعد كذا راح ناخذ إسراء. عندي سؤال خارج الإنجليزي. في يوم درس الإحياء المعلم الفاضل سأل أحد الطلبة سؤال قبل أن يتلقى السؤال، ولكن السؤال جاء نفسه في الاختبار مع نفس الاختيارات تقريبا، فهل هذا محض الصدفة؟ أكيد يعني محض الصدفة 100%. يعني وعشان كذا نؤكد أنه الأسئلة اللي يطرحوها الأساتذة يعني قبل أن الطلبة يطرحوا أسئلتهم هي أسئلة امتحانات، يعني معرضة أنها تجي في الامتحانات، مش لأنه المعلم هو اللي واضع الامتحان، يعني المعلم الضيف أنا أقصد في البرنامج، لا، بسبب الخبرات التراكمية الموجودة عند المعلمين في عملية أيضا الاطلاع على الاختبارات، اطلاعهم على وثيقة الاختبارات نفسها، وعلى المقاييس الخاصة بالاختبارات، وعلى أيضا عملهم كمدرسين وتعاملهم المباشر أيضا مع الاختبارات. فبالتأكيد أي سؤال، وهذا مش أول مرة أنه يعني في درس على الهواء المدرس يطرح سؤال على الطلبة وأيضا يأتي في الامتحان، هذه تتكرر يعني كثير. ناخذ إسراء. إسراء السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام، كيف الحال إسراء؟
الحمد لله زينة.
مو الأخبار تمام؟
الحمد لله.
جاهزة إن شاء الله لباكر؟
جاهزة.
وجاهزين للإجازة؟
أكثر شيء.
إن شاء الله إن شاء الله بالتوفيق، وبإذن الله كذا إجازة جميلة من خلالها تستعد للفصل الدراسي الثاني إن شاء الله. إسراء الآن مع الأستاذ سعيد. تمام؟
تمام.
عليكم السلام. How are you, Isra?
Hi, teacher.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
Are you prepared for tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us and tell your friends as well, how are you getting prepared for tomorrow? What are you doing at this time?
I answered some previous exams.
Final exam papers. And what about the books?
Not yet.
Okay. What's your question?
And also I want to ask her how she's practiced her listening.
Okay. This is one question from Mr. Khalfan. How did you practice so far the listening?
I didn't practice for the listening because the teacher already practiced for us.
Oh, practice. But out of home, you didn't hear anything in English, for example, English news?
No.
English anthems. So we can give advice as well. These kind of things would improve the listening skill. Yeah, your question?
So I just wanted to ask, what are the most important things that we should focus in the writing?
Yeah, the important things in writing.
Yeah, I mean our marks on the writing depends on what?
Okay, which one do you mean? Writing 1, which is evaluative, or writing 2, which is narrative?
The evaluative.
Evaluative. What do you want to know exactly about evaluative?
The form, the main form of the writing.
The form, okay. We'll try to explain it right now. Okay, this is evaluative. So we need to know that evaluative means agree or disagree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in evaluative, while you are writing your paragraph, put in your mind that you need to specify it, whether you agree or disagree. So let's give an example here about evaluative. So parents should give pocket money to let's say to teenagers. Okay. Do you know the meaning of this question? Parents should give pocket money to teenagers.
Yeah.
Okay, so the questions agree or not?
Agree.
Agree or not?
Agree.
Agree. So let's go one by one. What is the key word here in the question? Parents should give pocket money to teenagers. Which one do you think is the key word? Is it pocket money or teenagers?
Teenagers.
Okay, for example, let's say that it's teenager. Before writing evaluative, right, we need to introduce it. So it's about money and it's about teenagers. So brainstorming, you need to do brainstorming, mind mapping, sometimes in the draft, but also it's really important to have introduction. When we introduce, we don't have to start with I agree or I disagree. Let's introduce it using the word, for example, teenagers. Who are teenagers? Who are they? Try to define them. Teenagers are, who are they, teenagers? Okay, teenagers are people whose age from, for example, 14 to 18 years old, okay?
Yeah.
And teenagers also, we can say it's kind of one of the periods that a part of one of the period that could be considered as one of the difficult periods in human being, because those kind of people they don't know how to deal with things out of life because they are controlled by their parents. But when it comes to in teenagers period, so they need to be very careful. Okay.
Okay.
So the first thing we need to say, who are they? Teenagers are what? So try to define them. Later on the second sentence, you can say, I will put gap here. You have to write agree or
Disagree.
disagree. When you write I agree or disagree, exactly bring the same topic to here. So I agree or disagree that parents should give pocket money to teenagers, okay?
Okay.
And you need to tell me as well how many reasons for how many reasons for one reason or two reasons or three reasons. Let's say, for example, for 2 reasons. Okay?
Okay.
For 2 reasons. So this is the introduction. When it comes to the body, the first one, so you need to write first. It means the first reason. Tell us what is the first reason. This is the topic sentence. Then tell us the explanation of the topic sentence. So the topic sentence is the first sentence. The sentences after the topic sentence, we can call them supporting sentences. And supporting sentence, sometimes it could be here examples or extra information. Okay?
Okay.
This is about first. The same thing will happen with second.
The second reason.
Yeah. Write the first sentence, which is the topic sentence, and then write supporting sentences. Supporting sentences could be examples as well, and also extra information to support your idea. And at the end, write your conclusion. And of course, we can write all in all, last, in the end, and whatever you have already memorized from these kind of phrases. So for example, all in all. What do you have to do here? Summary. One sentence. So you need to write a summary in one sentence, okay?
Okay.
And also in conclusion, don't bring anything new. If you would like to bring something new, make it a point itself, so it's not in conclusion. Is it clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
شكرا لك يا إسراء وموفقة إن شاء الله موفقة. ناخذ سؤال من الفيسبوك. Hi, I am Wissam al-Rashdi. I have 4 questions. It needs only yes or no. Writing section. I will read the question. When we write an opinion in the final exam, can we include the advantage and the disadvantage in the same essay?
Yeah, we can, yes, but this is not advantage and disadvantage. We call them agree or disagree, that we have already explained them. The thing is, if you would like to write agree or disagree within the same paragraph, yes, you can write them. So for example, the introduction, then you have two paragraphs. The first paragraph agree, the second paragraph disagree, and then write your conclusion. Yes.
Can we include our essay by statics and scientific information which can support the main idea?
Sure, if you have them. Why not? Whatever information that you have them, try to support your ideas, but try to be within the limit of the paragraph, which is 100 words.
Can we introduce the topic before we say the opinion or not?
Yes, and we have already said that we need to make introduction before going to the topic.
In grammar and vocabulary, which words will we use and write in the exam? The British words or the American words?
This is not yes no question. This is misleading questions. What we have so far in our curriculum, it's a British one. Yes.
Okay. نرجع للمكالمات وناخذ دنيا. دنيا السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
كيف حالك؟
الحمد لله بخير.
من وين دنيا تكلمينا؟
من إبرة الشرقية.
من إبرة، بس في مشكلة ما أدري هل بالجهاز الاتصال أو شيء كذا. دنيا.
ألو.
بالسماعة أنت تتكلمي ولا بالجهاز مباشرة؟
خلاص تو الحين بالثلج.
اي بالجهاز افضل كذا، يعني السماعه كانت مسويه خرخشه يعني كذا. تمام، الاستاذ سعيد معك. طيب.
Hello, Dunya.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine. What about you?
Good so far. Would you let us know what are you doing these days for final exam, which is English?
I do some practice for final exam, especially writing and listening.
How did you practice writing?
I do final exam.
Final exam. And do you have someone to correct it for you? Because we do have also live in schools and we do have teachers to support us within this period. Who correct that one? Who correct your writing these days?
Writing?
Yeah, who correct them?
I have teacher in
okay, so you got some help. What is your question, Dunya?
First question, should we make space before introduction?
In which writing?
Both of them.
Evaluative?
Both of them, story and...
Both of them, okay. Evaluative and narrative. Yes, we have already said that. In evaluative, we can introduce our writing within 1 or 2 sentences before going to the topic. This is evaluative. Then we go to the narrative. Also, we can introduce and we give also my suggestions to that. For example, we can give a short introduction before writing the story. For example, the life is full of stories and actions, or full of stories and events, and I will write about one of these stories, and then you can describe your story with 1 day, but don't forget to use past here, okay? So introduction will show us how students is skilled to write introduction. So I really advise students to start with a sentence or 2 sentences within introduction.
Okay.
Yeah. What is it clear?
Yeah, it is.
What is the other question?
What's the difference between for and since, and when we can use it?
For and since, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it needs a screen here. For and since. For, we use it with a period of time. Period of time. But since, we use it for specific time. Okay?
Yeah.
So if we have, for example, a specific time and period of time. So for example, just answer me. If we have 3 months, and we have March, which one is for and which one is since?
For 3 months.
Yeah, for 3 months, and March?
Since. No.
Since. So this is the thing that we are talking about. For a period of time, and since for a specific time. Let me just give you questions here regarding for and since. If I have National Day, is it for or since?
Since.
For or since?
For.
For. Why for?
No, since.
Since. Thank you very much. It is since because we know that our National Day is 18th of November, yes? And we can say also birthday.
Yes.
So birthday, since or for?
Since.
Since. Okay, another question. This is very nice question, and we would like to explain since you ask it. Thank you very much. Let's have another example. If we have, for example, half an hour, is it for or since? Half an hour.
For.
Why for?
Time, because period of time.
Okay, this is for half an hour because it's period of time. We don't know which time exactly. Do we know the time? We don't know, but we know that half an hour. Another last example. If I say 2:30. So since or for?
Since.
Why?
Because it's specific time.
Thank you very much. It is since because 2:30, it means 2:30, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So period of time, it goes with for, like for 2 months, 3 months, for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, for ages, and also we can say for a long time, okay?
Okay.
But since it gives us specifically, so for example, since Monday, since the date, since 1972, exactly the date, the days, the year, exactly, okay?
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
شكرا لك دينا، شكرا، موفقة بإذن الله. وجميع الطلبة والطالبات بالتأكيد. ناخذ سؤال عبر الفيسبوك. What we gonna to do if we don't know the meaning of some words else in the storybooks?
Yes.
So they are going to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is one of the things that also we got some questions within our students that sometimes the words are a bit difficult for them, so sometimes they don't know the meanings of these words. The thing that try to use the majority of the words. But don't forget, the first thing, start with the easiest words, match them with the pictures. The remaining words, try to match them with the, try to make your expectation method that you have learned in 3 or 4 months that in the first semester. So expectation is also important here. Try to recall your memory, you might remember them, but we don't want to say that you don't have to use them, but try to use the majority of the words. It will show us that you are very skilled to use these kind of words with the pictures. So kind of comprehension is really important and needed in narrative story. So try to use most of them. Yes.
سؤال عبر تويتر. Is it true that the vocabulary questions complete the words or the words it mean are from out of the book or it come difficult words?
Yeah. It's yes no question, so we can say no, it's not out of the book at all. So if sometimes students are complaining the words are not from the glossary, for example, let's show you guys, and we showed that one before. For example, this is theme 4. At the end of the theme, you will find a glossary showing the words with the definition in English. So the words and definitions. So students are reading these words and memorizing the definitions. But also there are some words and definition within the book, course book and workbook. It needs more, and you need to study them. For example, this is theme 4. This is the glossary, but we don't have to forget that also we do have vocabularies here. This is the whole vocabulary section. It goes with speed bump, residence, fertility, statics, minimum, and also it doesn't show in the glossary at the end of the theme. So we need to study them. And also workbook has many vocabularies within the theme itself. So we are talking about 20, 30, 40 words within one theme. So sometimes 20 to 40 words we can't assume how many, but there are so many, whether they are new or old to you, but depends on your background of English. I would like you to be prepared for vocabulary, because the only thing that vocabulary section is a bit different from the others. The problem is when you misspell one of the words within vocabulary sections, the whole words will be wrong. So you'll get 0 with that word. So you need to spell them correctly. And the advice that we have already said before, try to write them as many as possible. Yeah.
Thank you Mr. سعيد. ناخذ اتصال. نذكر برقم الاتصال 2495 ناخذ اتصال. عندنا لبنى. لبنى السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
كيفك يا لبنى؟ شخبارك؟
الحمد لله بخير.
من وين؟
من الرستاق.
من الرستاق.
أيوة.
باكر آخر امتحان ولا؟
لا إن شاء الله يوم الأحد آخر اختبار.
يوم الأحد. أنت تتابعينا على تويتر أو على الفيسبوك يعني ولا فقط بالاتصال يعني مشاركاتك؟
لا والله.
بالاتصال.
أيوة بالاتصال.
جميل. طيب أستاذ سعيد الآن معك وبإمكانك تطرحي أسئلتك عليه.
إن شاء الله شكرا. Good evening.
Yeah, evening to you. How are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
Doing well, alhamdulillah. Before getting your questions, what do you think of learning English? Is it easy or difficult?
It's easy, so easy, and I like it so much.
Why do you think other students are saying that English is difficult?
Because maybe they don't know about how they study the exam or their yes.
But we do have teachers, English teachers. They can help them. Yes.
Yes.
So we can advise them that they need to study very hard to get, and English will be easy, because no one come to them and say that English is difficult, right?
Yes.
So
and it's
English
important language.
Important. Thank you very much. What's your question right now?
I have two questions, please. Two questions.
Yes.
The first question about writing, narrative writing in the story.
Yes.
They give us a lot of words in the book. Should we all of that use it in the exam or not?
Most of them, of course. You have to use them.
But the teacher, our teacher, say for us, it's not necessarily to use it, all of it, because we have hard or some difficult to know all of this.
So why do you think the exam papers have them if you are not if it's not asked to use them? Why do you think they bought box of words?
I don't know, but when
we need to focus that we need to use the majority of the words. Most of them we need to use them, because we are looking for these words when we are marking. Sometimes, yes, students are not using them, but we advise students to use them. Why don't we have to get them? Because it's kind of helping words. It will help us to write our story in a good way. So the exam papers have them to allow students to use them within the pictures, the right pictures. Okay?
Yes. Yes,
so
of course.
we advise you to use them, not to use. We don't advise you not to use them, of course, but we advise you to get the majority of them within your story.
Okay.
The second question.
Yes, I have. I want to ask you about the vocabulary teacher. Yes, we, as you know, we have a lot of vocabulary in the book, but we do all of that to save it. Yeah. But
we surprised in the exam, they can't or they don't have give us all of it.
Yes.
Maybe they give us general or
Yes.
original
Yes.
word.
We are talking about exam, and sometimes
Yes.
exam doesn't include everything in the book, right?
Yes, yes, but
Yeah.
the vocabulary, yes.
Yeah, for the vocabularies, we don't have the magic tool to let you know that these vocabularies will be in final exam. We don't have the magic tool, asa sihriya, the magic stick at all. But we
Yes.
advise you to study all of them, Lubna.
Yes.
Yes, there are
Thank
5
you.
vocabularies within the exam, but you need to study all the vocabularies, and this is why exam papers, to test you whether you know them or not.
Yes.
And the exam papers and the exam makers, they are very selective. So they are selecting sometimes 2 words from theme 1, 1 word from theme 2, theme 3. I would like you to focus within the theme vocabularies, like use the word of accommodation a bit longer. So I really advise you also to know them, how to write it, because if it doesn't come in final exam paper, you will use them in your English
Yes,
later
in the
on when you go
future, yes.
for when you study abroad, for example, in other countries. So accommodations abroad, local, statics, speed bump, there are so
Yes.
many vocabularies. We can use them in our own language, within daily language as well.
Yes.
So we don't have, sorry, the magic tool, but we will advise you to study all of them.
Thank you. Thank
Is
you.
it clear?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciating. Good.
Thank you.
شكرا لك يا لبنى، موفقة بإذن الله. ناخذ مروة، عندنا قد تكون هي الاتصال الأخير. عندنا مروة، السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
كيف حالك مروة؟
الحمد لله.
من وين؟
من مصر.
من مسقط. تفضلي مروة، عندك أستاذ سعيد، وأيضا تعطينا أسئلتك. تمام؟
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Before getting your questions, as we have already asked other callers, we have asked them about how they prepare for the final exam, which is going to be tomorrow. Tell us about your experience in preparing yourself for tomorrow.
Actually, I didn't prepare very well. I was taking the ideas that I have studied before.
Mm-hmm.
And my
would you raise your voice a bit to hear you?
Yes?
Yeah, raise your voice. Yes, go ahead.
Actually, I didn't prepare like every exam, and I use my gym.
Yes. So most of the students are practicing final exam. Also, one of the things that we need to insist here, that practice makes perfect. As much we practice, as much we can get high marks, of course. So I really also advise you to practice other final exam papers to put you in the mood of final exam paper. Yes, what is your question right now?
Actually, I have 2 questions. I was asking about second conditional and about already and just.
Yes.
What is it?
Why do you want to know about the second conditional while the book is talking about first conditional?
Actually, I forget the.
Yes. So the book is talking about the first conditional. Let's have the first question with the first conditional. Let's go to the screen and we'll have to explain it together. If clause, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we are talking about, in the book, we are talking about first conditional. The first conditional means if plus present symbol. Okay? This is, we call it if clause. And the second one, we call it the main clause. And in the main clause, we are talking about subject plus modal verbs plus verb plus object. Have you heard about the modal verbs?
Yes.
Yeah, the modal verbs here in the book, it has been mentioned about should, may, might, can, could, need to, these kind of things, okay?
Okay.
We can give an example. So the first conditional is called for present simple with if clause. This is first conditional. Okay, we can give example. If you are sick, this is the if clause. You go to the doctor. So the book mentions so many purposes of the using of modal verbs. For example, can, could, should, may, might. Which one do you think is the correct one?
Correct answer?
Yes, which one? Which one do you think is the correct one from the modal verbs? You can, or you could, or you should, or you may, or might. So, for example, the purpose here is to advise him because he is sick. We would like to advise him to go to the doctor, yes?
You should.
Yeah, you should. Thank you very much. By the way, they're all correct, but the purpose of our sentence allow us to use you should. Okay, so it depends on the purpose of the thing that we would like to describe. For example, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like also to explain the modal verbs. Modal verbs are the verbs like can, could, should. Okay. Also will, would, and so may, might. These are modal verbs. It comes with the verbs. When it comes with the verbs, it comes with the verb infinitive. So for example, we can say can do. This is correct. But can we say can doing?
No.
No. So I would like also to focus on these kind. If I would like to say can doing, I need to add can be doing. This is correct.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
I was asking about just and already. Actually, it has the same meaning.
Okay, just and already.
Just if you did something, يعني, like yeah, for example, I have just went to school now,
Okay.
or I have just went to school now.
Listen, Marwa, I'm really sorry to cut you here, that we have really short time here. If you can just post your question within Facebook or Twitter, we will try to get to it later on and we'll answer it. Unfortunately, we don't have money. Thank you very much for your questions and wish you all a happy final exam tomorrow.
شكرا لك يا مروة. شكرا لك يا مروة، وموفقة إن شاء الله في امتحان الغد. حلو التدخل كذا أحيانا.
يس.
شكرا لك أستاذ سعيد. عموما احنا وصلنا لنهاية حلقة اليوم من برنامج اللغة، من برنامج درس على الهواء، حلقة اللغة الإنجليزية. بالتأكيد الامتحان يوم الغد إن شاء الله، امتحان مادة اللغة الإنجليزية من باكر لحد يوم السبت. حلقاتنا ستكون مخصصة لمادة الكيمياء اللي راح يكون الامتحان عليها إن شاء الله يوم الأحد. نعتذر لمروة أن ما أخذنا السؤال الثاني، أيضا نعتذر للطلبة اللي هم على الانتظار بالنسبة للاتصالات، وأيضا الطلبة والطالبات اللي موجودين على الفيسبوك وعلى أيضا التويتر. إن شاء الله أستاذ سعيد راح يدخل على التويتر وراح يجيب على بعض الأسئلة وأيضا على الفيسبوك. شكرا لك أستاذ سعيد بن محمد العمري، معلم لغة إنجليزية. شكرا.
العفو أستاذ خلفان، وتشرفنا بالتواجد معكم، ونعتذر عن أي تقصير لأخواننا وأخواتنا الطلبة.
أديت بشكل جميل وما عليك قاصر أستاذ سعيد. إذا نلتقيكم إن شاء الله في حلقة الغد. أتمنى لكم أداء موفق في امتحان اللغة الإنجليزية. كل اللي راح يختموا امتحاناتهم يوم الغد نقول لهم إجازة سعيدة إن شاء الله، تستعدوا من خلال الفصل الدراسي الثاني، واللي مكملين معنا لحد يوم الأحد أيضا إن شاء الله مذاكرة ممتعة بالنسبة لمادة الكيمياء. هذه تحياتي، تحيات فريق العمل، وتحيات مخرج البرنامج ناصر شكيلي. إلى اللقاء.